Summary of Dopamine Nation by Anna Lembke. Dopamine Nation explores the modern landscape of addiction and the neurological underpinnings of pleasure and pain. Dr. Anna Lembke, a psychiatrist and addiction specialist, delves into how the brain's reward system drives human behavior and how societal changes have amplified the risks of addiction. Key themes. 1. Dopamine and addiction. Lembke explains that dopamine is the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. The book highlights how the brain's reward pathways are overstimulated by modern conveniences, leading to a cycle of addiction. Activities that produce pleasure, like social media, drugs, and processed foods, can lead to a diminished capacity for enjoyment over time. 2. The pain-pleasure balance. Lembke introduces the concept of the pleasure-pain balance, which suggests that high levels of pleasure lead to an increase in pain, and vice versa. When people seek dopamine hits, they often end up in a cycle of addiction that results in greater pain. 3. The role of society and technology. The book discusses how societal changes, especially technology, have created an environment where dopamine-inducing activities are more accessible than ever. This constant availability contributes to the normalization of addiction. 4. Personal stories and case studies. Lembke shares personal anecdotes and case studies from her practice, illustrating the profound effects of addiction on individuals and families. These stories humanize the statistics and theories, making the material relatable. 5. Pathways to recovery. The book emphasizes that recovery is possible through understanding the brain's mechanisms and implementing changes in lifestyle, support systems, and therapy. In-depth tips for implementation. 1. Understand your triggers. Self-reflection. Identify what activities or substances trigger cravings. Keep a journal to track your feelings and behaviors related to these triggers. Mindfulness practices. Engage in mindfulness meditation to become aware of your impulses without acting on them. 2. Limit exposure to dopamine triggers. Digital detox. Schedule regular breaks from technology, especially social media. Use apps to limit screen time. Environment control. Remove temptations from your environment. If certain foods or substances are triggers, avoid keeping them at home. 3. Develop healthy substitutes. Engage in physical activity. Exercise releases endorphins and can help regulate dopamine levels. Find an activity you enjoy, whether it's running, dancing, or yoga. Cultivate hobbies. Develop interests that don't rely on dopamine spikes, such as reading, gardening, or crafting. 4. Create a balanced routine. Structure your day. Plan your day to include both pleasurable and challenging activities. This helps maintain the pleasure-pain balance. Set goals. Break larger tasks into smaller, achievable goals to create a sense of accomplishment without overwhelming yourself. 5. Build a support network. Seek community. Surround yourself with supportive friends and family. Consider joining groups that promote healthy habits. Professional help. If struggling with addiction, consider therapy options. Cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT) can be particularly effective. 6. Practice gratitude and contentment. Gratitude journaling. Regularly write down things you're grateful for. This practice can shift your focus from seeking pleasure to appreciating what you have. Mindfulness and acceptance. Learn to accept discomfort as a part of life. This can reduce the impulse to seek immediate pleasure as a coping mechanism. 7. Educate yourself and others. Learn about addiction. Understanding the science behind addiction can empower you and those around you to make informed choices. Share knowledge. Discuss these concepts with friends and family to foster a supportive environment and collective understanding of addiction. By applying these strategies, individuals can work towards a healthier balance between pleasure and pain, ultimately reducing the impact of addiction in their lives. Dr. Lembke emphasizes that while the journey may be challenging, awareness and proactive steps can lead to meaningful change.